friends? Welcome to another episode of In the Kitchen with Becca. So this week was a recipe I'm really excited for. One thing I didn't really grow up with but have really come to love over the past couple of years was udon noodle. This is not the first time I'm making it. I actually tried it on, I believe it was New Year's Day, and I'm really glad I tried it first and didn't shoot it because the noodles turned out really good, but the sauce I made was inedible. I used like soy sauce as my base, which I wasn't thinking, and it was just so salty we couldn't eat it. But I was so frustrated because the noodles were perfect. It was just so salty we couldn't eat it. So I wanted to try it again and use beef broth as my base instead and just add a little bit of soy sauce at the end, and it was perfect. It was so good. So if you like udon noodles, they have great chew, they're thick, the sauce is hearty and salty and sticky and spicy and delicious. It's so good. So this is my recipe, my take on fried noodles from Din Tai Fung. Please use it. It is so good. And there's a special way to roll out the noodles. Keep watching to find out. So enjoy, make the udon noodles, they're dope. Enjoy the video.
In a large bowl, you're gonna take 200 grams of all-purpose flour, 90 grams of warm water, and 10 grams of salt. Go ahead and pour the salt into the water, mix it to dissolve. Then pour the flour and the salted water in the bowl. Mix to combine until a shaggy dough forms. If it's a little dry, add a little bit more water and knead until a smooth dough forms. After that, you're going to put it in a Ziploc bag and let it rest for 30 minutes to relax the gluten. After 30 minutes, you're going to get your dough ball, flour your work surface, flatten it out just slightly, and then start folding the dough in on itself to form a rough ball. Now here's where things get a little interesting. We're not going to flatten it out here, but down there. Lay a towel down on the floor. No, Guinness, get out of here. Put another towel on top, and you actually flatten it with your feet. So this is what they do in Japan, and so I figured this is what I'm going to do here. So you take your feet and flatten it out until it's a flat disc. Take it back up to your workspace, fold it on itself, and you're going to repeat the process a total of 3 times. After 3 times, you're going to put it back in your Ziploc and let it rest for 3 hours. Make sure if you have a fuzzy dog to pick up your towels in the meantime. After 3 hours, go ahead and flour your work surface again and take your rested dough. It should be very soft and very supple. Cover it in flour and roll out. You should roll it on a rectangle. I have a very difficult time with that, but roll it out until it's very flat and not stretching as much. Then you're going to take your dough and fold it like a fan. Move the dough to a cutting board and take a bench scraper or a knife and slice your noodles. After your noodles are sliced, unfold them and toss them in some flour to keep them separated.
Okay, so it is literally 6 months later after I made the udon noodles, and I'm finally editing the video, and I realized that I never filmed myself making the sauce for the udon noodles. It may have had something to do with the fact that I was filming on Valentine's Day, and I had to do Valentine's Day alone this year, and so did my really good friend Lexi Worley. So what we did is we just Skyped each other all night and started drinking.
Becca's video.
Special guest. What did your mom say?
My mom says that your beef Wellington looks good.
Well, thanks. Tell her she's on the next in the kitchen with Becca.
Becca says that you're on the next in the kitchen with Becca. So get pumped.
Woo! And so that may have contributed to it, even though I did make a delicious blood orange old-fashioned.
Oh, you're fine. We're not doing anything.
But I digress. So yeah, didn't shoot at all the sauce. So I'm here to do that now.
In a large pan, you're going to take a neutral oil like avocado oil or olive oil and add cut up vegetables of your choice. I used peppers, onions, broccoli, and mushrooms, but I didn't have mushrooms in my fridge right now. And you let those cook until they're nice and brown. Then you take them out, put them in a separate bowl. In your well-seasoned pan, you're going to add ginger paste and garlic paste and let those cook for about 30 seconds to a minute. Then you're going to deglaze your pan with some good beef stock. After that, you're going to add sesame oil, rice wine vinegar, and a couple of big tablespoons of soy sauce. Now, all of this is to taste, especially the most delicious component, this chili sauce. Now, you're gonna let that come together, but you're also gonna make a slurry with cornstarch and water. So you put a couple tablespoons cornstarch and some water, mix it together, and that's what's gonna make the sauce nice and sticky. So you take your cornstarch slurry, and then you add it to the liquid, and you cook it together, and it gets thick and delicious, and that's how you make a sauce. Then you take your boiled noodles, add it to your delicious sauce, add your vegetables, mix, and enjoy.